What is the easiest thing to wash? I'll let you think about that for a second. This is not a riddle. This is not a trick question. This is just something that I thought of the other day while I was in the bathroom. What is the easiest thing to wash? Let's see if you agree with me on this. A soap dispenser is the easiest thing to wash because the cleaning fluid that you need, soap, is already inside the soap dispenser, and it's sit next to the sink, which is the water that you need to wash it. So the soap and the water is right there. Everything is included. A soap dispenser is the easiest thing to wash. How clean is your soap dispenser? That's the question I got to ask you today on the Erin Marvin Show, episode 4. Thank you so much for joining me. Good to be back. Took the week off last week because I just honestly wasn't really feeling it and I didn't have anything to talk about. So I took the week off to reevaluate things, and turns out I don't have any new answers or any new things to talk about. But we're going to do an episode anyway because, as I said, consistency is key. And if I took 2 weeks off, then, the show might have died after 3 weeks, and we don't want that to happen. Thank you so much for joining me. How's everybody doing this week? I'm doing pretty good. Hope you're doing well. And if you're not, hopefully, this episode helps turn things around for you, maybe. I try to give some advice. I try to give some positive messages and ideas. Hopefully, you receive them that way. But if not, sorry. Christmas right around the corner. And the holidays can be a very tough time for a lot of people. So I hope everybody's hanging in there. Holidays can also be a very fun time for a lot of people. So we'll try to celebrate the good and the positive. Me personally, Christmas, I was a pretty big fan as a child. I mean, what's not to love about Christmas as a child? You get a week off of school. You get presents to open. You get all the fun Christmas movies to watch. There's a lot of good things about Christmas. But, as I get older, not saying I'm turning into a Grinch or a Scrooge, but the Christmas spirit, the Christmas joy is not completely there all the time. And I think as an adult, there's a lot more pressure to perform during the holiday season. You want to be the person who's giving the best gifts. You want to be the person who's singing the best Christmas carols. You want to be the person who's got the best Christmas lights in their yard. And honestly, you don't have to be any of those things. You can just enjoy spending time with your family, maybe exchange a couple of gifts here and there, sit around the fire, listen to some Christmas carols, reflect on the year and how everything went, and just enjoy yourself. So that's what I'm going to try to do this year. I hope everybody else tries to do the same. I kind of resent Christmas a little bit because it's the one holiday a year where you're actually required and expected to do something, to give people gifts and to receive gifts. And it's like, oh, this person gives me a gift. I hope that the monetary value of the gift that I'm giving them reflects the money that they spent on me. There's just a lot of weird social norms and social rules with Christmas that a lot of other holidays don't have. The 4th of July, you're not exchanging burgers and brats with people and exchanging fireworks with people. Somebody brings the burgers and the brats, somebody brings the fireworks, somebody brings the chips, somebody brings the beer, somebody brings the cornhole or the bean bags, somebody brings the boat, and you have a good time. Halloween. Somebody brings the beer, somebody brings the candy, everybody wears their costume, and you get together and you have a good time. Christmas, for some reason, is, first of all, is Jesus' birthday. I don't know why any of us are getting gifts, to be honest with you. Why can't we all just get together and celebrate Jesus' birthday? Oh, yeah. Now, there's a little thing called capitalism, and we live in America. Oh, that's right. That's the reason why. That's the reason why we celebrate Christmas. Got to help the economy out. And me personally, I've just never been that great of a gift giver. If you get a Christmas gift from me that isn't a gift card, that should be your favorite gift, because honestly, I am Mr. Gift Card. I am Mr. Hit Target the day before Christmas and get everybody a gift card. Sorry, I don't really see it changing anytime soon. Maybe that's something that I can work on in the future, but I doubt it, because Christmas only comes around once a year. And by the time that I realize that Christmas is almost here, sorry, I didn't think about what to give you for a gift. Does that make me selfish? Does that make me a bad person? I don't really think so. I would just rather, the gift of Christmas is the time that we get to spend together, the Yuletide carols that we sing. So that's the whole deal with Christmas. I just wish it was a little bit more of a holiday for everybody to just enjoy each other's company, and not this whole rigmarole of gifts and going over to people's houses. I mean, you got to go over to people's houses to see them and stuff, but maybe, at some point in a perfect world, I would just like the gift giving thing to just not happen. Hot take. I get it. You can disagree with me, but think about it. Think about the real reason of the season. But I hope everybody has a great Christmas. We might squeeze in one more episode before Christmas, but this is going to be my big Christmas spiel. And New Year's is also around the corner. I know we talked about 2022 coming to an end. Right now, December, we're in the preseason for 2023. How's everybody's December going? Are you thinking about the New Year's resolutions? Are you taking any steps to get ready for the New Year's resolutions? Me personally, it's been a pretty decent month for me. I got to be honest, reflecting on the past year, the things that went well, the things that didn't go well, and what I can do next year to really start leveling up here in life. What are you looking forward to next year? Anything in particular that's going on that you have to look forward to? Do you got a big vacation, a big trip planned for the new year? Are you starting a new job in the new year? What's going on? I am going to make a list of resolutions that I'm going to try to stick to, but I'm going to avoid publicly sharing them on the podcast. One thing being that I have heard somewhere that if you say that you're going to do something, your brain doesn't necessarily know the difference. If you say you're going to do it, that might be your brain thinking that you actually did do that thing. So in an effort to keep my New Year's resolutions personal to myself, and to not trick my brain into thinking that I have accomplished something when I in fact have not, I will not be sharing my New Year's resolutions on the podcast for the time being. And I was thinking about this. One of the things I will say that I do need to work on in the new year is I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and that can possibly be good, but overall I think that's a bad thing. Because with perfectionism, you know what perfectionism is, right? It's when everything has to be perfect. So that is the type of person that I am. I think that everything in my life has to be perfect. I hold myself to this high standard, and then when I don't achieve perfection, which is completely unrealistic, I get very down on myself. So next year, I think I'm going to work on less perfection and more progression. How's that? And that's just a vague thing. That's not a set in stone goal. So I'm not breaking my little I'm not tricking my brain into anything because I already know that I'm a perfectionist and I try this stuff all the time. And when stuff doesn't work out for me, I'm a failure. But that's not true. I'm not a failure. I'm just doing my best. And I hope everybody else is doing their best because that's all you can do. So I said last week that I was taking the week off for a little mental health break. I just want everybody to know that I'm doing fine. If I wasn't doing fine, you would not be watching this video right now. And I say email ideas and thoughts you might have for the show to neil@erinmarvin.com. Go ahead and email me or drop it in the comments of the YouTube video. Your questions, your ideas for the show. After the first episode, my friends Charlie and Mandy emailed me, and one of the questions they had for me are, what are some mental health tips? Tips for keeping your mental health in shape, especially during the winter time. And at the time, I did not want to address this question because the winter had just started. And for a little while, I thought, all right, I can just kind of raw dog winter and tough it out and wait until I start to feel down before I start implementing my mental health tips. Not recommended. I hope everybody's doing well out there. But now it's been about a month into winter. Winter so far has been very gloomy. Kind of sucks. This week it's actually been rainy. It's slushy. It's gray. It's gloomy. Winter can just wear you down. So I did want to talk about some mental health tips to keep you in tip-top shape this winter. This is just entertainment purposes only. This is advice, but this is not medical advice. This is not, this is not therapy. This is not anything like that. So if these tips help you, good. If they don't, you don't have to use them. And I will say that these tips are nothing that you probably haven't heard before. Exercise, that's number one tip. Exercise. And I do think it is very important to exercise. That is probably my number one tip for keeping my mental health in the top shape that it tries to be in. You reel off 5 days a week in the gym for 2-3 weeks, you're going to be feeling pretty good. Or you can do home workouts. You can just Google or search on YouTube for some at-home workouts and do that. You can start as small as you'd like. You can work your way up to as big of exercises as you'd like. But I do recommend 30 to 60 minutes of exercise a day if you can squeeze it in. I think it's very helpful. I just joined a new gym last week and I am very excited about it. It is a very good gym atmosphere. I had 3 of the best workouts that I've had all year since I started at this gym, so I'm looking forward to really crushing it in the new year, really taking control of my fitness. And maybe this time next year, I'm going to be 3 times as big. Another mental health tip, eat well. This is one that I struggle with sometimes, but I think the older I get, kind of the easier it gets because I'm so sick of eating McDonald's. I say that now, but geez, I've put down a lot of McDonald's in my life. I've put down a lot of fast food in my life. And honestly, at sometimes it is disgusting and it's not very good for you. So what I've been doing lately, and is a good habit I think to get into, is cook your own food. I know my friend Dan also emailed me a few weeks ago and he was saying that cooking food for yourself is a game changer. And I do agree with him. Hopefully everybody can find the time in their life and in their busy schedules to cook a healthy meal for themselves. I will tell you my go-to meal. This is one I do all the time. And, maybe you'll get sick of it if you cook the same meal over and over. But I like to start with a little rice, cook some rice in the Instant Pot. And then I recently got an air fryer. So I will put some veggies in the air fryer, crisp them up. You can just buy a frozen bag of veggies from your favorite store and heat those up in the air fryer. And then usually I'll do a meat. The debate on the podcast, vegan, not vegan, whatever works for you. Today I actually went meatless and I grilled up a little bit of mushrooms on the grill, on the stove, with onions and some peppers. Made a nice little stir fry deal there. And then, I just put down the rice, put down the mushrooms, and then put down the vegetables on top. And you got a delicious, healthy meal that didn't take that long to cook. And you didn't have to think about it very hard. Maybe add a little bit of sauce on there to flavor it up a bit. But honestly, I ate today's meal without any sauce, and it was delicious. And you can make a big enough portion, do a little meal prep action so that you're not sitting there cooking every single day. I like to cook like maybe a 2 days worth of food at a time, and it's beautiful. Limit your screen time. Tip number 3. Today, actually, I've been doing great. Let's see what my actual screen time is today, because I'll tell you this. On my phone screen time, I put the total screen time right on the home page of my phone. Today I'm at 3 hours, which actually sounds like a lot, but I think like a typical day for me is 6 hours. And that's just too much. So limit your screen time, limit your social media. Today, I have not been on social media, and it's been a great day. I've been so productive today. I have been using Spotify, Snapchat, and I've been on my notes app a lot, writing some notes down for today's show. But other than that, and by the way, I don't consider Snapchat social media. That's just direct communication with my friends. I try not to be watching people's stories and stuff like that. So I've just been sticking to communicating with friends today, friends and family, that sort of thing, getting ready for the podcast. So I think limiting your screen time, and especially your social media, because it's exhausting reading and listening to and watching thousands of people's ideas throughout the course of, you're on your phone for 10 minutes and you just saw just so much crap that you would have never seen otherwise. And it's just too much for your brain to comprehend and think about. So I think limiting your screen time, limiting your social media is huge. Another tip, mental health tip, keep busy, clean. If you keep busy, you don't have time to sit and think about stuff and just dwell on negative thoughts and things like that. You know what I did today? Folded a bunch of laundry, did more laundry, and then I cleaned the shower, cleaned the toilet, cleaned the sink. When was the last time you cleaned your shower? Just get in there, scrub-a-dub-dub. It'll make you feel good when you got a nice clean shower, some clean bed sheets, a clean toilet with no particles hanging around your toilet. I mean, just an idea. They might make you feel better if you do a little bit of cleaning. And, some people have a good habit of cleaning, and hopefully that is helpful for them too. But me personally, I'm not the greatest cleaner. And like with all these tips, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that I'm 100% dialed in on all these things, but things that I have found that are good for my mental health. And my final tip for you, tip number 5, get into as much of a solid routine as you can. Caveat, make sure your routine is not boring. I like to, over the past few months, I've been trying to wake up approximately the same time every day. If I can, I like to get up when the sun rises so that I can enjoy as much sunlight of the day as possible. Then lately I've been doing, instead of eating a big breakfast, maybe eat like an apple and then a little protein shake or something like that. Wait and drink water in the morning. I try to wait at least an hour before I drink coffee. Coffee is part of my routine. I do enjoy coffee. Currently, I am sitting at 3 cups And I would like to get that down to about 2 cups in the morning. 3 cups is a little over the top sometimes. Gets me a little too jittery. And then what else? Throughout the day, take care of chores. Some people have to go to work. Sometimes I got the day off, so I don't have to go to work. And then I will clean. I like to work in a little bit of time to go to the gym, of course. And then ideally, I take care of a little business throughout the day, answering emails, sending out invoices, scheduling stuff for the future, things of that nature. Get a little time to work on creative things, Erin Marvin music, work on this podcast, think about stuff like that, and just kind of get into a good routine that you feel good about. And I think that'll be good for your mental health. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm not your therapist. I'm not saying this and that. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but these are just things that you could consider implementing into your life to help your mental health if you are struggling. Got a few more things I want to talk about. It's funny to me, speaking of not being on social media, this has nothing to do with not being on social media. This is social media talk right now. Funny to me how quickly trends can come and go. The trend that I am referring to and have in mind right now is the AI caricatures and cartoons that people have been blowing up Instagram with lately and blowing up Facebook with lately. You know what I'm talking about? Where you're supposed to upload like 10 to 15 pictures or something like that to this website, and it spits out these computer artificial intelligence generated artwork for you. I'll just say that it is not something I'm going to be participating in. It's a little scary to me, and not in the fact that like, oh, you scared. They already got your pictures online. They already know what you look like, all that stuff. No, it's like, and I'm no expert here, but you're willingly giving pictures of yourself to a computer model that is trying to get smarter and smarter and smarter. And what you get in return is a few pictures that are kind of cool, but honestly, at what cost? At what cost? So the AI stuff is cool, but it does concern me. A little bit of an invasion of privacy and an invasion of the human condition, I believe. I don't have much else to speak on this intellectually, so I will cut myself off there before I say something that is not accurate. But I will just say to everybody who participated in the AI caricatures, next time I see you, don't be surprised if I double check with you to make sure it's actually you and you're not the first batch of robot clones that get sent out into Earth to be tested, because right now seems like everything that we do online and in our real lives is starting to be, and has been, a big experiment for artificial intelligence. Please, artificial intelligence robots, please do not be offended while I say that. Please do not come and get me, and please leave me alone and stop stealing my data and information. Thank you. But yeah, there's a lot of trends out there, and it's just interesting to me to see which ones people participate in, which ones people don't. Me personally, it's interesting what stuff I decide that I want to participate in and what stuff I don't want to participate in. Yep, I'm in Spotify Wrapped. Nope, I'm not doing the AI caricatures. What will be next? What will be next? The big trends that occupy our time. It's very interesting. A few more things to touch on. The Vikings. The Vikings lost to the Detroit Lions after Kirk Cousins had an amazing day, one of his best days as a Viking, I'm pretty sure, stat-wise. He threw for a lot of yards. Justin Jefferson set the single-game receiving record for the Vikings incredible performance by him. Unfortunately, he's not getting very much MVP talk. I think he deserves some consideration for the MVP, but he's not getting it. And please, Vikings fans, if you really do consider yourself a fan, let's not throw the season out the window yet. We're 10-3. Yeah, it was a bad loss, but the Lions are a very good team. Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl before. It's not like we were playing a D1 team or, this isn't high school football. Every team in the NFL is good. Any team can win any given Sunday. And they say it's a game of inches. So anybody who's jumped off the Vikings bandwagon, just let me say, I better not catch you at the Super Bowl parade. I will call you out for being a fake fan. Skol Vikings. And I would also like to give a shout out to my fantasy football team, the Halloween Spiders, who ended the regular season 11-3 and with the number 1 seed heading into the playoffs. So congratulations to me and my team. It is my first year ever being the number 1 seed. This is the most successful fantasy football team that I've ever owned. Special shout out to the players who have led the way for me this year: Patrick Mahomes, Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, Damian Pierce, AJ Brown, Amari Cooper, among others. Thank you all for your contributions. The playoffs start this week, and unfortunately, some of my players appear to be injured, so we're monitoring the situation, and hopefully they will be fine, and I will advance throughout the playoffs and secure the trophy. I'm trying to win the championship. A lot of money on the line, let me tell you that. And it would be nice. Be a nice little chunk of change to start the new year with. So we'll see how that goes. Anything else? Oh, yeah. Before we go, I did another thing about mental health. Here's a mental health tip, a bonus tip number 6. Spend some time with your friends. Work. Somebody's blowing up my phone. Work in time into your schedule to see your friends. And a few days ago, I had a friend, Mike, hit me up. Good friend of mine from high school. He hit me up and he said he had something to drop off for me. And so I asked him if I could share this gift that he gave me to the rest of the world. It was very nice, and it made my day and honestly made my week. So I would like to share what Mike came over and dropped off for me, and it was very nice to see him. This is what he wrote. Neil, 1 year ago, my grandpa passed away. He had a pickup truck from 2002. It was the vehicle that me and all my cousins learned to drive in. He took us into empty fields to let us figure out at the age of 12. I bought the truck so it would stay in the family. I also went out and bought 5 of my all-time favorite albums on CD since it wouldn't have aux. Then I came to find out it doesn't even have a CD player either. LOL. The CDs have sat in my room unopened for a year now. After listening to your pod, I realize you may want them. Merry Christmas, Mike. And this was awesome. So Mike had these CDs and heard me on the podcast talking about how in my car I listen to CDs. So 5 albums that he gifted me. Beautiful. First one we got here, Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Eminem, The Marshall Mathers LP. Drake, Take Care. And finally, Kanye West, The College Dropout, which we both agreed was a little bit problematic these days, but, he did buy this a year ago, so. Thank you, Mike, very much for the CDs. I already opened Take Care, and I was listening to that in my car because Take Care, I actually, believe it or not, have never heard all the way through and ever really listened to. So thank you, Mike, very much. Mental health tip number 6, spend some time with your friends. It was very good to see Mike. Hadn't seen him in over a year, and hopefully I'm going to see him again very soon. We're going to catch up. Thank you very much, Mike. Everybody, I recommend scheduling a little time into your busy schedules to see your friends. And that's great. And I think seeing people in person and actually talking to them in person and being in their presence is way more beneficial and useful than even FaceTiming or texting, things like that. So, yeah. See your friends if you can. See your friends, see your family. Make some time for that. And if, you live far away from everybody, just stay in touch and, it'll make you feel a lot better. So, that's all I had on my notes today. If you got any questions, comments for the show, the Erin Marvin Show, drop them down below. Please remember to like and subscribe. And if you don't like the podcast, click that like button twice. For the rest of the year, yeah, we might squeeze in another episode. And like I said, working on not being a perfectionist. So I know I set out with the lofty goal of doing a podcast every week, but you know what? If I don't get to it every week, that's completely fine too, because, say it with me, progression is better than perfection. Something like that. Anyways, have a great week, everybody. We will talk to you again soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Erin Marvin Show.